Most people misunderstand personal power. They think it's something you earn through struggle. They believe it's something you build through effort, discipline, and constant motion. They imagine it as an achievement waiting at the end of a long, difficult road. But that belief is exactly what keeps them powerless, because personal power doesn't arrive through effort. It awakens through alignment. You've been conditioned to believe that control equals strength, that movement equals progress, that busyness equals success. From a young age, you've been rewarded for trying harder, pushing further, proving yourself. The world taught you that to be powerful, you must always be in motion, always reaching, always fixing, always striving. But what if real power works in the opposite direction? The truth is simple, and that's why most people miss it. Real personal power isn't built through force. It's revealed through stillness. The quieter you become inside, the clearer your influence becomes outside. The more you stop fighting reality, the more reality bends to meet you. This is the paradox of power. The harder you try to control life, the more it controls you. The moment you stop chasing control, you begin to access true strength. You've been trained to believe power means dominance. But in truth, power is coherence. Power is the state where your thoughts, emotions, and intentions move together, not against each other. When you're coherent, your energy becomes focused. When your energy is focused, it becomes magnetic. People feel it. Opportunities respond to it. Life reorganizes around it. But here's the challenge. You've been programmed to confuse control with coherence. Control creates tension. Coherence creates flow. And tension, no matter how disciplined it feels, disconnects you from your natural power. You've been told that personal growth requires struggle. That self-mastery is a long, painful process of improvement. But what if growth doesn't always mean effort? What if growth means remembering? Remembering who you were before the world convinced you to question yourself. Remembering the calm that existed before doubt began speaking louder than truth. You were born powerful. You were born aligned. You were born knowing that your thoughts matter, that your feelings shape reality, that your choices echo into the field around you. Then, through years of conditioning, you learn to distrust that simplicity. You learn to question your intuition. You learn to silence the voice that already knew. Every layer of self-doubt is learned. Every habit of fear is taught. Every belief that says I'm not enough is a story inherited from a world that forgot its own power. So when you begin your path of personal growth, you're not building something new. You're remembering what you already are. Power doesn't need effort. It needs clarity. When you're clear, your energy becomes direct. When you're direct, the universe responds instantly. The field around you is not judging your effort. It's mirroring your coherence. Most people complicate this truth because they've been trained to value complexity. They want steps, systems, techniques, strategies. But every new layer of technique can become another layer of separation. Because the more you analyze your power, the further you move from it. Power isn't found in thought. It's found in awareness. Consider this. You don't breathe by effort. You don't digest through discipline. You don't control your heartbeat through strategy. Life flows through you because you allow it. Power works the same way. The more you allow it, the stronger it moves. The moment you relax into trust, you become magnetic to everything aligned with your frequency. This is why simplicity is so misunderstood. The conditioned mind distrusts what feels easy. It wants to earn everything through suffering. It wants to prove its worth through exhaustion. It believes that struggle equals meaning. So when something arrives through ease, the mind calls it luck. It calls it coincidence. It calls it too good to be true. But ease isn't luck. Ease is alignment. Think about the moments in your life when everything flowed effortlessly. When you said the right thing at the right time. When opportunities appeared out of nowhere. When you felt calm and confident, and the world seemed to reflect that calm back to you. Those moments weren't random. They were signals of coherence. They were glimpses of what happens when your energy and awareness align. That's personal power. The alignment of your inner world with your outer experience. Not through force, but through frequency. Not through control, but through clarity. When you stop trying to fix yourself, you remember that you were never broken. When you stop trying to prove your worth, you realize that your worth was never in question. When you stop trying to chase power, you see that power was never missing. It was only masked by noise. The noise is the voice that says you're not ready. The noise is the thought that says you need more time, more knowledge, more practice. The noise is the constant internal argument between who you've been and who you know you can become. And the only thing that ever silences that noise is presence. Presence isn't passive. It's the most active state of awareness there is. In presence, you're not distracted by the future or haunted by the past. You're fully engaged with what is. You're not trying to be powerful. You're being power itself. You don't need to shout to command attention when you're coherent. You don't need to compete when you're aligned. You don't need to hustle when you trust your timing. True strength doesn't announce itself. It radiates quietly. People who operate from this level of awareness don't chase validation. They move with certainty. They understand that personal growth isn't about becoming more. It's about becoming clearer. It's about peeling back layers of conditioning until only authenticity remains, let's be honest. Simplicity scares the ego, because when you realize how simple power actually is, the ego loses its job. The ego thrives on complexity. It survives on confusion. It keeps you chasing something you already are. The moment you stop chasing, the ego panics. But that panic is the signal that freedom is near. You don't need to become fearless to access power. You just need to stop identifying with fear. Fear doesn't disappear. It just stops leading. You can feel fear and still act from clarity. You can doubt and still choose alignment. The presence of fear doesn't mean you're off path. It means you're human. The difference between the powerless and the powerful isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to stay coherent despite it. This is why personal growth is not a process of addition. It's subtraction. Removing what isn't true. Releasing what isn't aligned. Returning to what's always been real. And that reality is this: you are not waiting to become powerful. You are remembering that you already are. The hidden simplicity of personal power is that nothing needs to be added to you. Everything is already here. Every time you breathe with intention, every time you quiet the noise, every time you choose trust over tension, you access that truth. So pause for a moment. Breathe. Feel the energy moving through your body right now. That's not random. That's not small. That's the same energy that shapes stars, tides, and timelines. It moves through you effortlessly. That's your power. You don't need to force it. You don't need to chase it. You just need to stop resisting it, because when you stop resisting, you stop separating. And when separation ends, alignment begins. Personal power isn't about doing more. It's about being clear enough to let the universe do what it already knows how to do. And the moment you trust that, your entire life reorganizes itself around your clarity. That's the hidden simplicity most people miss. Power isn't earned, it's remembered. And in remembering, you rise. Growth is not about becoming more, it's about becoming clear. Most people mistake expansion for effort. They believe that personal growth means constant struggle, constant striving, constant improvement. They chase evolution as if it's something out there to be caught. But growth doesn't happen because you push harder. Growth happens because you align deeper. Coherent growth is not force, it's focus. There's the natural unfolding that occurs when every part of you agrees. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions stop fighting each other, your energy multiplies. You stop leaking power. You stop sabotaging progress. You stop confusing motion with evolution. You've been taught that progress equals pressure. That change must hurt. That breakthrough requires breakdown, but that conditioning keeps you addicted to chaos. It makes peace feel unsafe. It makes simplicity feel suspicious. It convinces you that if you're not struggling, you're not growing. But growth doesn't need pain. Growth needs presence. Coherence is what happens when presence meets purpose. It's when your inner state becomes so aligned that the external world can't help but reorganize to match it. You've felt it before. Those moments when you stop doubting yourself and start trusting your intuition, when you stop forcing and start flowing, when your mind quiets and your clarity speaks. That's coherence. That's growth in motion. The reason most people feel stuck isn't because they aren't growing. It's because they're growing incoherently. One part of them wants change, another part fears it. One part believes, another part doubts. One part moves forward, another clings to the past. The result is energetic friction. You move a little, then snap back. You gain clarity, then question it. You feel aligned, then overthink. That back and forth isn't failure, it's feedback. It's showing you where your signal is still split. The moment you choose to unify your energy, everything shifts. Coherent growth means no more inner war, no more fighting your own evolution. It means trusting that your timing, your journey, and your pace are not mistakes. It means understanding that the process doesn't need to be violent to be real. You don't need to destroy yourself to rebuild yourself. You just need to stop resisting who you're becoming. Every time you choose coherence over conflict, you expand. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you evolve. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, you activate the next level of your frequency. Because growth isn't a sudden leap. It's a consistent alignment with your highest self. Incoherence drains you. Coherence amplifies you. The difference between the two is clarity. When you're clear, energy flows. When you're unclear, energy scatters. That's why growth sometimes feels exhausting. It's not the expansion that tires you, it's the resistance. You're fighting yourself, not the process. Think of coherence like tuning an instrument. When the strings are aligned, the sound is rich and clear. When one string is off, everything feels dissonant. The music doesn't stop, but it loses harmony. You are the same. When one aspect of your being is out of tune, your mind racing, your heart closed, your body tense, the whole system loses rhythm. Coherent growth is tuning your frequency back to harmony. The mind will always try to complicate it. It wants formulas, steps, guarantees. But the field doesn't operate on complexity. It operates on resonance. You don't need to understand every detail. You need to feel alignment. You need to embody trust. You need to practice stillness long enough to hear your own clarity again. This is where most people quit. Not because they fail, but because the simplicity feels uncomfortable. They expect lightning bolts. They want drama. But real growth is quiet. It's subtle. It happens in the stillness between actions, in the silence between thoughts. You don't notice it at first because it doesn't shout. It whispers, it guides, it aligns. The ego doesn't like this kind of growth. It can't take credit for it. It can't measure it. It can't show it off. So it tells you you're not moving fast enough. It tells you you're falling behind. It tells you you need to do more. But every time you listen to that voice, you disconnect from coherence. You return to force. Coherent growth feels different. It's not explosive. It's steady. It's stable. It's the moment you realize that peace isn't stagnation. It's power. That rest isn't weakness. It's recalibration. That surrender isn't giving up. It's alignment. You don't need to push harder. You need to trust deeper. You don't need to plan every outcome. You need to allow what's ready to unfold. Because the more coherent your energy becomes, the less you have to chase. The universe meets coherence halfway. Your job isn't to manipulate timing. Your job is to maintain signal. The field doesn't respond to deadlines. It responds to vibration. The stronger your vibration, the faster things align. But strength isn't intensity. Strength is stability. Coherence is emotional stability in energetic form. When you're coherent, the world slows down around you. Chaos softens. Opportunities align with grace. People sense your energy without you saying a word. Because coherence doesn't need to convince anyone. It simply radiates. This is why coherence feels so magnetic. It's not charisma. It's not luck. It's alignment in action. People are drawn to coherence because it represents something their energy craves: wholeness. Every time you choose coherence, you become a mirror. You remind others of their natural alignment. You show them what ease looks like when it's real. That's why your growth matters. It's not just about you. It's about the frequency you contribute to the collective field. You might think your stillness goes unnoticed, but the field notices every time you regulate your energy, every time you align your thoughts with your heart, every time you act from clarity instead of fear. You shift reality, not just yours, but everyone connected to your frequency. Growth isn't just personal, it's energetic. It ripples. It spreads. When you align, the field expands through you. The impact of one coherent individual can recalibrate entire environments. That's not theory. That's resonance. So don't underestimate the quiet moments. Don't dismiss the calm. Don't rush the process. Coherence isn't loud. It's powerful in its silence. It's creation without chaos. It's growth without exhaustion. It's evolution through ease. And here's the secret no one tells you. You don't have to hold coherence perfectly. You just have to return to it consistently. You don't have to stay in alignment all the time. You just have to notice faster when you drift. That awareness is mastery. Each return strengthens your frequency. Each recovery sharpens your clarity. Each moment of awareness brings your energy into tighter focus. That's coherent growth. It's not perfection. It's presence. And when presence becomes your default state, growth becomes effortless. You stop chasing change and start embodying evolution. You stop striving for alignment and start living from it. That's when you realize you were never broken. You were never behind. You were always in motion, just learning how to move without resistance. Coherent growth is the art of remembering how to grow without fighting yourself. It's the process of aligning every part of your being with who you're becoming. And once you master that, reality has no choice but to keep up, because the field doesn't follow effort. It follows alignment. It follows coherence. It follows you. And when you become coherent with growth itself, life stops testing you and starts reflecting you. That's the state of coherent growth. Not effort, not struggle. Alignment, always alignment. Alignment is the bridge between intention and reality. It's what turns a thought into a result. It's the invisible link between who you think you are and what you experience. Most people think manifestation is about doing more, visualizing harder, or saying affirmations louder. But alignment has nothing to do with volume. It has everything to do with vibration. When your vibration matches your desire, the universe has no choice but to mirror it. That's not magic. That's law. Energy responds to resonance always. The problem is most people live out of sync with what they say they want. They speak abundance but vibrate scarcity. They affirm love but radiate fear. They visualize peace but carry chaos. And then they wonder why nothing changes. You can't fake alignment. The field reads frequency, not words. You can say all the right things, write all the right affirmations, perform every ritual perfectly. But if your energy contradicts your words, the field only responds to the energy. That's why alignment feels like truth, and resistance feels like effort. Alignment flows. Resistance fights. Think about a moment in your life when everything seemed to just work, when you didn't have to push or prove, when what you needed showed up exactly when you needed it. That wasn't coincidence. That was alignment. You were tuned to the frequency of receiving. You weren't chasing. You weren't controlling. You were clear. And the field responded. The field of possibility is always active, always available. It's not somewhere you go. It's something you tune into. Every potential version of your life already exists there. Every outcome, every opportunity, every breakthrough, it's all encoded in that field. You don't need to create it. You just need to align with it. But here's the catch. You can't align with clarity if you keep identifying with chaos. You can't align with abundance if you keep rehearsing lack. You can't align with love if you keep holding on to fear. Because the field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. Every emotion you feel, every thought you think, every word you speak, it all sends out a signal. That signal determines what reality reflects back to you. When your internal state is scattered, Your external reality mirrors that scatter. When your internal state is coherent, your external reality becomes coherent too. So the real work isn't outside of you, it's inside. It's not about controlling circumstances, it's about calibrating your signal. The more coherent you become inside, the more effortless everything becomes outside. Here's the truth most people avoid. Misalignment feels normal when you've been living in it for years. Chaos becomes comfortable. Worry feels familiar. Doubt feels safe because it's predictable. So when you start aligning with peace, it can feel wrong at first. Calm can feel suspicious. Ease can feel undeserved. But that's just the nervous system adjusting to coherence. Don't confuse discomfort with misalignment. Sometimes peace feels uncomfortable simply because you're not used to it yet. Sometimes stability feels boring because chaos used to feel alive. But what you call boring might actually be balance. What you call too simple might actually be power. The field of possibility doesn't need your effort. It needs your permission. The universe doesn't require your struggle. It requires your trust. And the moment you stop fighting for what's already yours, you create space for it to arrive. Alignment isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about returning to center faster each time you drift. It's about catching yourself when the old programming pulls you back into fear, doubt, and control. The pull won't disappear overnight, but your awareness gives you the power to choose differently. Every time you choose calm over panic, you're aligning. Every time you choose trust over control, you're aligning. Every time you choose presence over worry, you're aligning. You align through being, not through effort. That's why alignment feels effortless when it's real. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to maintain it. You just exist in it. And that state of existence broadcasts a clean, powerful signal that reality can't ignore. People often ask, how do I know when I'm aligned? The answer is simple. You feel light. You feel clear. You stop forcing. You stop overthinking. You feel a quiet certainty that things are moving, even when you can't see how. That's alignment. The moment you start questioning, doubting, or overanalyzing, you step out of the field of flow and back into the field of resistance. The mind loves to measure progress. It wants proof, timelines, signs, but the quantum field doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to purity. The purer your signal, the faster your reality responds. You've been told to hustle for your dreams, but hustling is a signal of lack. It says, I don't have it yet, so I must chase it. Alignment says, it's already mine, I'll meet it in perfect timing. That difference in energy is everything. One creates resistance, the other creates results. When you stop needing your desire to prove your worth, you become magnetic to it. When you stop measuring your progress, you speed it up. When you stop chasing outcomes, you begin embodying them. Because alignment collapses the distance between you and your desire. There's no gap when the signal is clear. This is what quantum manifestation really means. It's not a trick. It's not fantasy. It's not wishful thinking. It's energetic precision. The clearer your energy, the faster reality reflects it. But precision requires honesty. You can't align with what you pretend to feel. You can't align with what you avoid. You must be willing to see where your signal is split. To notice when your words say one thing but your body feels another. When your mouth speaks confidence, but your heart whispers fear. That awareness isn't judgment. It's correction. It's how you bring coherence back online. So stop trying to convince the universe of your desire. Start convincing yourself of your readiness, because the universe isn't waiting to believe you. It's waiting for you to believe yourself. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop needing proof, proof appears. The moment you stop doubting the process accelerates. The moment you stop trying to control the field starts working in your favor. You don't have to chase alignment. You return to it naturally when you stop interfering. You were designed for coherence. You were built for clarity. You were created to live in flow. Misalignment isn't your nature. It's your conditioning. The moment you release the need to control, to analyze, to fix, your energy shifts from effort to elegance. You start operating from the same intelligence that moves galaxies and grows forests. The same intelligence that orchestrates timing and order without struggle. You stop trying to be the manager of reality and start remembering you're already part of its design. You are the field, observing itself. You are the signal, tuning itself. You are both the dreamer and the dream. The moment you realize that, alignment becomes automatic, and that's the beauty of it. Alignment doesn't require force. It requires remembrance. You don't have to build connection. You just have to stop believing you're separate. When you truly grasp that, the field opens. Possibilities rush in. Coincidences multiply. Timing becomes perfect, because reality has always been ready. It was just waiting for your signal to clear. That's the secret most people miss. You don't align with the universe by reaching for it. You align by returning to yourself, because when you're in alignment with who you really are, you're automatically in alignment with everything meant for you. And that's when life begins to move through you instead of against you. That's when manifestation stops being a process and starts being your natural state. You stop trying to make it happen. You start letting it happen. That's alignment. That's power. That's the field of possibility. There's a moment in every journey where the search ends, not because you've reached a final destination, but because you finally remember you were never lost. That's what remembering the quantum self feels like. It's not a new discovery. It's a quiet realization that everything you've been chasing was never outside of you. It's been here the entire time, waiting for your awareness to catch up. You are not a separate being trying to connect with the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself as you. Every thought, every emotion, every moment of awareness is the field expressing through your unique perspective. You don't attract energy. You are energy. You don't create vibration. You are vibration. You don't find alignment. You are alignment remembering itself. The illusion of separation is the only thing that keeps you disconnected from your natural power. You've been trained to believe there's a gap between who you are and who you want to be, between your dreams and your reality, between your desires and their fulfillment. But in the quantum model, there is no gap. There is only coherence or interference. When you're coherent, reality responds instantly. When you're in interference, you experience delay. The mind calls the delay failure. But the delay is simply feedback. It's the universe showing you where you're not yet matching your own frequency. It's not rejection. It's reflection. The field never denies you. It only mirrors you. This is where the real awakening happens. You stop asking for signs and start realizing you are the sign. You stop waiting for proof and start understanding you are the proof. You stop chasing validation from the universe and start remembering that you are the universe validating itself through awareness. You are not trying to manifest a new reality. You are remembering the timeline that already exists where your desire is fulfilled. You are not forcing matter to change. You are tuning your energy to match what's already available. You are not waiting for alignment to arrive. You are realigning with what never left. This is what it means to remember the quantum self. It's the awareness that your consciousness is not a passenger in the process. It's the driver. Every choice you make, every thought you think, every emotion you nurture sends a signal into the field. That signal is your command. The field responds with precision, always. Most people live unaware of this power. They move through life reacting to circumstances instead of generating them. They believe they are at the mercy of external forces. But when you remember the quantum self, you realize that external reality is just a mirror reflecting your inner frequency. Change your frequency, and the mirror must shift. The question is never, how do I make this happen? The real question is, what version of me already lives there? The moment you identify that version, you begin to merge with it. You begin to think their thoughts, feel their emotions, move with their certainty. You stop pretending to be the version that's waiting, and you start embodying the version that's receiving. You don't become this version by effort. You become it by remembering. Remembering how it feels to trust. Remembering how it feels to be enough. Remembering how it feels to live without resistance. Every time you remember, You collapse the distance between the self you think you are and the self you truly are. You've heard the phrase, you create your reality. But that's not entirely accurate. You don't create reality from nothing. You select it from everything. The quantum field holds infinite realities, infinite timelines, infinite outcomes. All of them exist simultaneously. Your vibration is what determines which one you experience. The version of you that's confident, peaceful, abundant, and whole already exists. The moment you tune your frequency to that version, reality rearranges itself to match. This is not imagination, it's resonance, but here's the challenge. Most people keep their awareness split between timelines. They try to live in abundance while still thinking like scarcity. They try to manifest love while still fearing rejection. They try to embody peace while still identifying with struggle. That split signal creates interference, and interference keeps reality in flux. The solution isn't effort, it's focus. It's committing to one frequency fully. It's choosing to align with the version of you who already exists in completion and refusing to return to the version that doubts. It's not pretending, it's remembering. You've spent so much of your life trying to fix yourself, trying to improve, trying to reach a point of worthiness. But you don't have to fix what isn't broken. You don't have to improve what's already divine. You don't have to reach what's already within. When you stop searching for your power and start resting in it, the field shifts instantly. When you stop chasing the next breakthrough and start embodying the awareness that you are the breakthrough, everything changes. The moment you stop fighting your reflection, your reality softens. Remember this, you are not a fragment of creation. You are creation itself in motion. You are not disconnected from the field. You are the field localized into form. You are the observer and the observed, the question and the answer, the signal and the result. The universe isn't testing you. It's matching you. It's calibrating to your frequency in every moment. When you're coherent, it moves. When you're uncertain, it waits. When you're aligned, it amplifies. That's the real relationship between you and the quantum field. It's not conditional, it's reflective. So what does remembering the quantum self actually look like in daily life? It looks like calm confidence in uncertainty. It looks like trust when logic wants proof. It looks like choosing stillness over panic. It looks like acting from clarity instead of reaction. It looks like being so anchored in who you are that nothing external can convince you otherwise. When you live from that state, the universe organizes itself around you, not because you're lucky, because you're aligned, not because you're special, because you're coherent. You become a walking frequency of clarity. You stop speaking from doubt. You start speaking from certainty. You stop needing to control timing. You start trusting timing. You stop demanding evidence. You start embodying truth, and something amazing happens. People begin to notice. They can't explain it, but they feel it. Your presence changes rooms. Your energy settles chaos. Your calm becomes contagious, because coherence is contagious. Alignment spreads. This is how individual remembering becomes collective awakening. When one person remembers their quantum nature, it activates that memory in others. When you live in coherence, you silently invite the world to do the same. You don't have to preach it. You don't have to prove it. You just have to be it. Because being is the loudest frequency in existence. The quantum self doesn't try to manifest. It doesn't need to. It simply observes reality from a state of wholeness. And that observation collapses the timeline where wholeness already exists. That's the real magic. Not forcing reality to change, but remembering you already exist in the version where it's done. So pause for a moment, take a breath, feel it. The same energy that holds galaxies together is holding you. The same intelligence that orchestrates universes is breathing through you. You are not separate from that power. You are that power in form. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to reach for it. You just have to remember it. When you remember who you are, the universe remembers with you. When you remember your power, reality shifts to reflect it. When you remember your wholeness, life becomes a mirror of completion. That's the secret hidden in every spiritual text, every quantum experiment, every quiet whisper of intuition. You are not here to find power. You are here to remember it. And when you do, the search ends, the striving ends, the struggle ends. Because the quantum self never needed to chase. It only needed to awaken. You are that awakening. You are that alignment. You are that field remembering itself as form. That's the truth of who you are. That's the simplicity you were taught to overlook. That's the remembrance that changes everything. You don't have to force the universe to move. You only have to remember that you are the universe moving. And when you live from that knowing, life stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something that happens through you. That's remembering the quantum self. That's where alignment becomes identity. That's where manifestation becomes reality. And that's where your power finally feels like home.